Hi, and welcome to Jules Voto's Photo Focus. In this video, I'm going to show you how to clean a vintage film camera. Okay, so we have this Nicormat FT3 here that I picked up on eBay for a very good price, but it was really dirty. Now, I did some cleaning of it, but I'm just going to go over and show you what I did. But first, let's just go through some of the supplies that I use to clean a camera. You probably don't need everything here, but some of them are really important. First is the rocket bulb blower. Now, you don't have to get a rocket, but I think this is one of the better ones. And it's great for, cleaning your lens, getting dust off the body, the viewing screen, the film chamber, and it works really well. Now, some people will use compressed air. I'm not crazy about compressed air, at least not on the optical surfaces, because there is a propellant in that compressed air can, and unless you hold the can upright, it's possible that propellant could come out and it would damage your lens or focusing screen or whatever. So I prefer not to use compressed air. Also, I have Eclipse Optic cleaning fluid. This works great on digital sensors, and so it's mild enough to clean digital sensors well. So it could be used on the lens. It could be used on the mirror, and it dries quickly and works really well. I also have some isopropyl alcohol. The isopropyl alcohol is great to clean the body of the camera, the outer portions, also the film chamber, the pressure plate. I have PEC pads. These are great non-abrasive wipes. They're lint-free. They're very soft. Could use those to clean the mirror, lenses, optical parts of the camera. I also have some Zeiss lens cleaning wipes. These are pre-moistened, individually packaged. You can pick these up at Walmart for between $5 and $6 for 100 of them. I also have this static whisk anti-static brush, which is great for cleaning the lens, the viewfinder, focusing screen. What else here? I have a old cotton glove, a standard cotton glove I used to use when I was printing negatives, and it's great for kind of drying areas that you have cleaned. I also have these cotton swabs. These work great along with the isopropyl alcohol to clean exterior body parts of the camera. Also, you can use them to clean in the film chamber. Okay, and then also some foam swabs, which I picked up on, they came in various different sizes, which I picked up on Amazon. And of course, microfiber cloth, I have a couple different varieties of those. They work really great. They're very soft and won't scratch. And one last thing, I have some alcohol swabs. These are great to carry with you. You're not going to carry a bottle of isopropyl alcohol in your camera bag, but you can take some of these alcohol swabs and, some mud splashes on your camera, just use those to clean it off. All right, so let's get started. So what do I do first? I usually take my bulb blower and just go around the camera. Get any loose crap off of it, okay? So you do that. Then I usually start at the top of the camera, and I will take one of these cotton swabs and some isopropyl alcohol. What I do is just dip. You could pour some of this out into a small container. I usually just dip it in there and then squeeze it out, okay? Squeeze it out because you don't want it real wet. And you never want to apply any of these solutions directly to the camera. You want to put them on your cleaning utensil. Okay, so now we're just going to go over here and around here and between the film counter and the release, and then move out the advance lever. And I had already cleaned this, so it's not too dirty. but you could see some dirt on the, here was the previous one. All right, and you could see the camera was pretty dirty. And it doesn't affect the performance of the camera, but it's a lot nicer to have, I think, to work with a clean camera. I usually lift up the rewind knob and clean under there, anywhere you could reach with the cotton swab. And then I take the back end, the dry end, and just kind of dry it off a little. Sometimes it will leave a little bit of residue, but just going over it with the dry swab or your microfiber will remove that residue. Okay, now let's go to the front of the camera. Same thing. You're going to clean in all these little nooks and crannies. Okay. Now, these little pointy ones, okay, like this, these are great for getting in those little spots. Like, for example, around between the shutter release and the filament lance lever, that area in there, and also inside, alongside the shutter release, where it usually picks up some dirt, and even in where your cable release would go. Okay, so these are great, and these are fairly inexpensive. Like I said, I picked these up on Amazon, and that gets in all the little areas. Okay, and you could clean the leatherette. Just again, don't soak it, because if that alcohol seeps in under here, it can loosen it. All right, so also on the back here, on the eyepiece, you could do the same thing on the eyepiece using the cotton swab. I would use the Eclipse on that or some other lens cleaner. The brush, again, you could just brush out the viewfinder. Now, some cameras, like this Nicormat, have a removable eyepiece, which means now you can clean both sides of the eyepiece and also inside on the viewfinder. Okay, just be careful with a cotton swab. Again, here you're not going to use the alcohol. You're going to use the lens cleaner or the Eclipse. All right, just be careful with these. Sometimes you will get a piece of lint coming off of them. Just make note of that. Use your blower brush to get rid of it, or one of these foam swabs. One more thing to the top of the camera I forgot to mention. The camera has a hot shoe. You just might want to clean that contact with an eraser. And after you use the eraser, then take your cotton swab and go back over it, because sometimes that, most times that eraser will leave, some small pieces of it. So now we're going to open up the back of the camera. Okay, now this camera has some bad light seals. And what happens when those light seals go, a lot of times some of it will stick to the back door of the camera or other surface. So you just need to take that alcohol and you just go in here and just clean it off real good. Okay, you could also clean the pressure plate. Here we're just, for that, I'm just going to use one of these cotton swabs, one of these alcohol preps. Just going to open that up and we're just going to go over that. And these are kind of wet, which is fine. So what I'd like to do after using one is just take my microfiber and just dry it. And also clean, this is a little roller in here, which helps to keep the film flat. And so you're just going to want to go over that as well to make sure that's dry. And then you could clean the film rails. Okay, and there we could use, again, you could use your Q-tip, your cotton swab, and just clean everything inside. A lot of times the film chamber gets, even possibly a piece of film could break off, a little tiny piece when you're rewinding. Occasionally that'll happen. So just dry this out real good. Don't touch the, be careful not to touch the shutter curtains. You can damage them. All right. Now, again, I mentioned earlier, this camera is going to need seals, light seals. So all this area in here where the light seals go, top and bottom, that's going to have to be completely cleaned out. And again, you could use the alcohol, use one of these pointy swabs to clean that out. Okay. Now we're going to take the lens off. And before I take the lens off, I usually take my bulb blower and just go all around, because I don't want any dirt or dust to get inside the mirror box. Okay. Now, what we do here is basically the same. We're using the bulb blower and just hold the camera upside down and just give it a good blast. Now, if you have something on the mirror, if there's any residue on the mirror, let's say you had a bad mirror foam, that's going to be you're going to need to clean that off. And there are a lot of opinions on cleaning the mirror. Now I'm just going to bring over here a Minolta that has bad foam, and it had some residue at the bottom of the mirror. Okay, and some people say only use a blast of your bulb blower. Other people say don't touch it at all. Others say, well, you could clean it. Use almost anything. Use lens tissue. Well, I don't recommend lens tissue, but what you can do is take some of this Eclipse, just put a drop or two either on your cotton swab or your microfiber. Just go back and forth. Don't go in a circular motion. Take the other side and dry it. Sometimes when it dries, you'll get like a little bit of residue, but a dry one. And as long as you go back and forth and you're not real, you're just gentle, you should not have a problem. Because remember, if the mirror is scratched or if it is a little dirty, it's not going to affect your picture quality. What it may affect, if it's really dirty or if there's a deep scratch in it, it may affect your view through the viewfinder. But it is not going to affect the picture quality, of course, because when the picture is taken, the mirror flips up. Okay, the base of the camera, usually I'll go over that with the alcohol and the microfiber. And I just want to show you one other thing here. Let's get back to this Nitromat. Always remove the battery cover. Okay, and check out the battery chamber. Sometimes the previous battery had leaked, so you're going to just take your cotton swab with, or one of these foam swabs, whatever. Remove any of that residue, and then take your eraser and just hit that contact. Okay, and then again hit it with the air to remove any residue from the eraser. One other thing I always do is, before putting the lens back on, is just clean around the outside of the lens mount. Okay, usually these are stainless steel, but they'll get dirty. Just clean that off as well. All right, and you can see we got some dirt on there. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and tap that bell so you'll be alerted anytime I come out with a new video. And I usually come out with a new video every Wednesday morning at 11 a.m. So thanks for watching, and I will talk to you next time.